Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casual Experts episode 3. Uh, we are back again with another episode. Today's topic is all about fear of death. We will discuss about how fear of death controls our lives and how any human being takes decisions according to fear of death. So, Gulrez, what do you think what fear of death is?
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of the Casual Experts podcast. About this topic, I guess, well, it's still very early days in our podcast and we are discussing a very serious topic, but yes, this is something which I believe needs to be discussed. Fear of death. See, death fundamentally is the biggest reality of life. There is nothing more truthful than death in life, and this is something which can be very disturbing to understand and at the same time very enlightening to understand, because if you understand that this life is going to end one day, it will fundamentally liberate you from the worries that at the end of the day it all will be over. So you don't need to worry about like, if I haven't done anything in life, so what will that amount to, or if I don't achieve a certain goal, what will happen ultimately? Nothing will happen. Ultimately you will die and it will be over. Of course, dwelling into religious beliefs, there is an understanding that there is an afterlife and we will be resurrected again, and yes, that is something else. But as far as this worldly life goes, we do know that at the end of the day it will all be over. So keeping that in view, I think it should liberate us from the worries that engulfs our mind usually, about our careers, about how we want to achieve things. And certainly, because the audience won't know, but the conversation we were having before this podcast, like today's episode, you were telling me certain things that it is messing up your mind, that you want to achieve certain goals, you want to make money, and likewise I do as well. But if you let that thought dictate your mind, you ultimately lose precious time, and it is not worth worrying about so much, because you cannot control time and you cannot control certain things. All that you have is effort. Like this podcast we are doing, right? You know how much messed up we are, how lazy we are, but still we try to show up on time. You travel such a long distance to show up here, to come here, so that you can record this podcast, as messy as it is. So yeah, that are some of my initial thoughts on it.
Yeah, where sometimes death gives a perspective that life is pointless. What's in life to achieve?
Yeah.
At the end, we will die.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you are thinking of achieving something, you think that what's the point of doing it?
Exactly.
When at the end you will end up in a grave.
Yeah.
So why putting so much effort, going through something and doing so much hard work? At the end, there is nothing to live for.
That's quite natural, but at the same time, it should also emphasize the fact that whatever you have in life, that becomes so much precious and so much meaningful, because it is this moment that you are living. Just imagine if you can feel every millisecond to the fullest. You can feel it, that you are living this moment to the fullest. You are absolutely ensuring that you try to make it as meaningful as possible, be it in any way. Like, do something that you enjoy, do something that makes that you find purposeful. That will induce meaning into life, and so you will understand that no matter how short this life is, how uncertain it is very precious. So it should, in a way, teach you that every day needs to be lived to the maximum, because it is a gift. There is that quote, but I don't recall it completely, that today is called present because it is a gift, right? Like we refer to a gift as a present, right? So today is called present because it's a gift. So you should enjoy what you have in your hand. You should try to see if I have this day, what can I do to ensure that this is the best possible day that I can live, because maybe this is the last day that I have. And one day in your life, this point will come that it will be the last day that you live, and you may not be aware of it. But if you operate with that mentality that I want to live this life as if every day is the last one, then you will do wonders. Like personally, I believe that, I read this somewhere as well, that if you operate by two things in life, one, helping people as much as you can and knowing more today than you knew yesterday, that will get you so far ahead of people that you cannot even imagine. So I guess this is the mentality that one should operate with.
And you talked about how people look around and explore the meaning of life, but there are many people who are in search of true meaning to their life, but at the end they could not find that, and they eventually die. They die without finding a meaning to their life. And there is a saying like, before you die, within like last 5 seconds of life, you find your meaning of your life, and you eventually die.
People say that
There is like flashbacks.
Exactly.
You eventually find your meaning of your life, but there is no life.
that your life flashes back everything that you have lived through.
Yes.
Well, that can be the case. That can happen. You talk about meaning, right? That some people think that life is purposeless, life is meaningful.
On the other hand, some people think there is meaning to life, but their meaning is different too. Like some think there is, like money is the ultimate goal of life. Many people think.
I think it is also because that people ultimately chase fulfillment, right? And money is something that gives you access to resources. Like to have resources, you have to have money. If you have money, then you can do things, right? Practically speaking. And so that people ultimately chase that fulfillment because they they should have control over their lives. If they have that control, they think that they will have fulfillment. But that is also something which we ultimately don't, because you don't know how you will feel when you have $10 million. You will feel great, I'm sure. But when you have $10 million, you have a big mansion, you have loads of cars, and then you are living a life that you have dreamed of. But maybe you are sitting at your couch and thinking that, man, is this the life that I wanted? What will you do with that money then?
Still we will be meaningless with all that money and all that precious things, big house.
Exactly.
And everything you are thinking right now to have.
Yes.
But still one thing will be missing, which will be meaning to life.
Yes, and generally people do find meaning if they have long-lasting relationships, or if they find someone who genuinely cares for them. Again, I remember a short story from a book called Man's Search for Meaning. It's a very good book, people. If some of you who's watching this podcast, you should absolutely read that book. So in that book, Viktor Frankl, the author of that book, he discusses that there was one lady. He was serving in the concentration camps during World Wars. This was, I'm not sure, the First World War or the Second World War. Anyway, I'm not sure about. I don't remember the exact details, but I guess it was the Second World War. That there was this one lady who wanted to commit suicide, and she was absolutely at the brink of it. and this guy was on call with her, right, on phone, and he was trying to convince her that you shouldn't commit suicide, life has purpose, you can do loads of stuff, just don't kill yourself. He was absolutely trying to do that, and he put in a lot of effort into it, right? But ultimately that woman hung up the phone and she said, okay, I mean, she didn't say that I will not commit suicide. So this guy was sure that maybe this woman has killed herself. Some time passes and the guy meets this woman and he sees that she's alive and he's absolutely thrilled. And he asks her, okay, why didn't you commit suicide? I thought you were dead. And he was of the assumption that maybe there was something that he said to her which made her think that I should reconsider my decision, right? But there was absolutely nothing like that. She said, there was nothing that you said to me which convinced me that I shouldn't commit suicide. Then he said that, why didn't you commit suicide? She said, because I thought that there is one person in the entire universe who wants me to live. So I'm not alone. So maybe there is some meaning to life. There is some purpose. And that thing sustained her. You see? So ultimately you can see that at the brink of suicide, she was thinking that maybe there is someone who wants me to live. And I'm not all alone. So this is something which is a basic human need. You don't want to die lonely. You don't want to have a life where you are absolutely lonely and you think that I don't have anyone by my side. Now, that is a dark place to go. And people have difficult lives. There is no doubt about that. But yeah.
But mostly people, like at the later stage, they become more religious and more like giving to community than to consume themselves, the wealth they have accumulated over time. Though it is sheer fear of death that makes them do things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, death, as far as solely the fear of death goes, it can make you do crazy stuff, man. I mean, if you have watched the movie Gangs of New York, right, there is this dialogue. It's a creepy dialogue. I won't say that, but at the end of it, the one who is saying this dialogue, he says that fear, it is what preserves the order of things. Like with fear, you can absolutely do crazy stuff. I mean, yes, this is a truthful fear. There is no doubt about that. That people fear that the life that we are living, one day it will all be vanished. And people fear uncertainty, right? You don't know how will you feel when you die. So people ultimately fear that. So yes, that is true that people do become religious at a certain point in life because they realize that we are aging and we probably we're going closer to death, and one day this will be over. So why not have our religious obligations fulfilled, so when we die we go to heaven. Well, personally, I am of the view that you shouldn't be religious just because of that. That is a bad criteria. But anyway, we'll drift away from the topic. That's a long discussion.
Really people that are fearless of death, if they think that it's something which is going to happen eventually, say instead of worrying about it, and they put it aside and do things without fear of death, I think they can achieve anything if they don't fear anything. The death is the ultimate fear of mankind, and over time no technology, no scientific breakthrough has achieved anything to defeat death. If humankind is...
By the way, what is that? Who is that guy? Amazon's... the guy who founded Amazon, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he's doing research on death, by the way. He wants to... I mean, I don't know. I don't have accurate data on it, but I guess I've read it somewhere. Okay, he's doing research on longevity, how to, increase the human lifespan of humans. Yes. Anyway, that's another debate. Yes. So I guess, see, this is very difficult. But if I think that at one point of life, at one stage in life, if you have achieved that understanding, again going back to the point that life will end one day, right? So that can make you fearless also in a way, because you think that okay, this is going to happen anyway. You cannot stop it, right? Death will happen one way or the other. If you cannot stop it and it is going to happen, then the fear of it will not help you. It cannot make you escape death. Then why fear it? But it is very difficult. It's not easy. You cannot just say that I don't fear death. No, I fear death, absolutely. I know that. I've seen close people close to me who've died, and I do not want to imagine myself currently at their place, because it is scary, to be honest. But maybe one day I beat this fear. Maybe I can truly embrace the fact that this life is temporary, and one day I will die, and so I should not fear death. It's easier said than done.
Like, there are some point of time when you face too many hardships and you think it's better to die than to live. There is a time that you think like death is something better than having these hardships. So there are times.
Absolutely. I know that, as I said earlier, that people have difficult lives. There is no doubt about that, and we cannot even estimate the kind of mental fatigue or mental torture that they would go through, and it's not even wise to assume that. But having said that, as we live our lives, we know that there is no phase in life that is constant. Everything in the long run becomes dynamic. There is one phase, like we have our moods, right? Sometimes we are in a good mood, sometimes we are in a bad mood. Sometimes things absolutely don't go our way. Sometimes they are better. It's also about perspective, by the way. If you are too critical, if you are too much like, a kind of person who has a pessimistic view of life, that everything in my life goes bad, I cannot figure things out, no matter what I do, none of my efforts pay off. That's a negative mindset to have. If you have that mindset, even in that mindset, life projects itself like a very difficult journey to go on to. So hardships are a part of it, man, and it will keep on coming till the time you die. So, but yeah, having said that, I understand people have difficult lives, and it can be difficult to go through it.
Mostly when there are people who are in their old age, sometimes we say, what are you waiting for? And they say, only death. I'm waiting for my death. And they are like,
yeah, that is very scary, to be honest.
Yes.
Imagining that people get old and
they literally say that, okay, we are waiting for our death now. That's our last resting place.
Yes.
And only relaxing place or the last place is our grave.
Think about it from this perspective that, see, maybe because we haven't been to that stage, but maybe they find contentment in that. Maybe they think that we have done everything in life, we have achieved everything, and now it is our time to go. Because when people get old and like really old, they don't have their friends with them, they don't have their age fellows with them, maybe their parents, maybe their spouses have died, so their generation is all gone, right? And maybe there is that thought in their mind that we want to be with them, right? And we want to just I'm done with this life. I've lived this life. Now I want to graduate to the next step, right? And that is death.
I think we have just talked tip of the iceberg of this vast topic, and this is something which cannot be completely
Not in one episode. Absolutely.
Yes.
We will have repeated
and mostly we are living the life currently. After death we will know what was the purpose of our life, and those 5 seconds we will know what the real purpose we came here for. And I think then we will come to a decision, and I hope we can do our podcast in the heavens, or and then we will be more much completely.
You never know, maybe God, flashes these episodes in heaven that
Yes.
these two people. You never know.
Yeah, they are talking about death so casually, and they are not experts about death.
Look at this.
Yeah. So
But anyway, this was a good discussion. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think that's we should wrap this up.
I think that's enough about death.
Yeah.
Yes, we will bring some new topic to our 4th episode, and till then, please be with us, and do comment on our YouTube channel what things we are missing, or what topic should we talk about further. So please give us likes, and please share our episodes with your friends and family if you think it's something you relate to or something you enjoy. It's a new channel, and I think we need as much as support as you be to grow this channel and introduce something our mind to the general audience of our age group, or our people that are younger to us. So we are here to talk more about new topics and serious topics that are running in our mind. So that's all. Now Gulrez, anything you want to add?
So that, as I said, it was a good discussion. We will continue to have discussions on serious and candid topics. Of course, not all serious. We are casual experts, of course. So
depends upon our mood. What are we going
yeah, today Zahid was in a bit of a serious mood. So we said that let's have this serious discussion.
about that?
So with that being said, we wrap up this episode and see you in the next one. Bye bye.